Okay, after a poor autumn, I thought, well, the winter's got to be better, hasn't it? So I was down at the beginning of December and had a good look round the lake. Didn't see any fish and decided on the margin swim. I didn't get off to a good start though, because I realised I'd left my buzzers at home. So after a 40-mile round trip back home to get them, I eventually got the rods out. I put them both along down the margin with a few spots over the top. I was still using the autumn tactics at this point. The weather looked bang on and I was quite hopeful into the evening, but woke up on a cold chilly morning needing to pack up for work. Midweek overnighters tended to be rushed and just setting up just before dark, so there wasn't much time to try and find fish, and no real expectation of catching. I did get the chance of a day session in mid-December on a Sunday. It was quite high pressure, so I decided to put one out on a zig and the other with a solid bag just halfway across to the island, fishing opposite the margin swim. I did actually get a bit of interest on the zig, got me quite excited, but it didn't turn into anything. But then a fish showed out to the right of the island, further out than where I was fishing, so I quickly wound the zig rod in, converted it to a bottom bait and stuck it out there on the fish's head, and then decided to get the other rod in and put that out there as well. I sat back quite hopeful that one of them would go off, but the day drifted into the afternoon and the early evening, and it was unfortunately time to go because I had work in the morning. The 18th of December was my last day at work until the new year, and I gave the bay a go, setting up in the dark, as it seemed like a good bet at the time. The morning was cold and crisp and it didn't look too promising, but a fish showed out in front of me, only a small one. And that was all, and that afternoon I called it a day. I was off work now though, and looking forward to getting some fishing in through the Christmas period. I was therefore next down on Christmas Eve and opted for the margin swim again. That's because I saw fish, and they continued to show after I'd set up on them. I thought I was bang on for a take this time, and hovered over the rods, ready for one of them to go off. I was still hopeful into the evening, but the following lunchtime soon came around, when it was time to be home. After Christmas I had another go. I wanted to see a sign of a fish again to give me encouragement, and I found it. So it was the same approach as before, and the same waiting and watching as before. And this time I had a take on the left hand rod, but when I picked up the rod I felt it was a bream, and that was confirmed when I netted it. I had a lovely sunrise which compensated a little bit, and I sat through the morning hopeful that I might get a proper chance, but lunchtime came around and that was it for 2024. 2025 had to be better, I told myself, and I persisted with the margin swim, deciding I was going to fish the same spots regularly to keep the bait going in and get a take. And lo and behold, that's what happened on the left hand rod, a proper one. And I picked up the rod and felt an initial kick, and then the fish was off, and I reeled in despondent of missing the only chance I'd had in weeks. Morning came and it was time to be back to work after a couple of weeks, but I wanted to get back in that swim as soon as possible and was back in there on the Sunday afternoon. The weather looked bang on. I was fully expecting another take, but no, morning came around and it was time to go to work. I wasn't then able to get down for 10 days. When I did, I opted for the point swim. Just stuck bags out left and right without much hope because I hadn't seen anything. It was a cold night and even a colder morning when I had to pack up for work. I had a day session planned that Sunday to see if the daytime would produce any more bites, and I was back in the margin swim again. But I spent the day drinking coffee and watching the wildlife, calling it a day in the late afternoon. It was back to the work overnighters again and fishing the margin swim with solid bags on the same spots. This became a bit of a routine of setting up in the fading light and packing up in the early morning light. The weekends gave me a better chance of catching, and at the end of January I found myself in the winter sanctuary swim. Solid bags were still the order of the day, fishing out of me gravelly spots out there, and it was nice to know I had up until the following lunchtime to get a chance. I actually had a bit of activity on the right hand rod. I was quite hopeful going into the morning, but not much happened, and lunchtime soon came around. Traffic was always a bit of a problem, which didn't help with setting up before it got dark, but I was back in that swim a couple of nights later, and again had a bit of interest with a liner on my left hand rod. That's all it was though, and yeah, work beckoned. I would have stuck with that swim, but I wasn't able to get down for a while, and when I did, the point swim seemed a better bet. Both rods were whacked over towards the far margin with solid bags, and that was because I'd seen fish in the sanctuary, all shoaled up. The weather was good and I thought I'd get a touch, but no. Valentine's night was put off for 24 hours so I could fish Friday the 14th of February. The left hand rod went out at 13 wraps onto a gravel spot, and the right went down the far margin, both on solid bags. The left hand rod got a bit of interest that evening, which got me excited, and I was even more excited the following morning when a fish topped out a couple of times over the left hand spot. I sat there in the rain hoping that rod would go off, but it didn't, and although I left it out for as long as possible, lunchtime came around and it was time to go home. I was back in the margin swim my next midweek overnighter, but that was uneventful, and I even came down that same evening to fish it again with the same result. I had one more chance before the end of winter and opted for the night rope swim, having seen fish in the sanctuary again. Both rods went out with solid bags towards the rope where the sanctuary began, and although it was going to be cold and clear, I did think I would have a chance. How foolish I was. I was packing up in a frosty cold morning, having blanked the whole winter. March had arrived, which was the beginning of spring. I found myself back in the winter sanctuary, having ditched the beanie for the cap again in the mild weather. I was still on the solid bags, but only put one out, with the other rod being dropped in short in the margin. Unbeknown to me, with my head buried in the bivvy sorting my gear out, a fish cruised in on top and spooked off after I'd made too much noise. That gave me hope for the margin rod, but the evening went and the morning came and it was all quiet. I saw it out until mid-morning, but then decided to go and have a look round the lake for fish for the last few hours. I did find one in the lagoon next to the point swim, and that was enough for me to plop a rod out there with a 3-bait stringer for the rest of the morning. I had about 3 hours, but they soon passed and it was time to bring the rods in and be off home at lunchtime. The fish were looking a little bit more active now though, and it gave me hope that it wouldn't be long before I caught one. Okay, well it's the next day, Sunday the 9th, just coming up to 11:30, yeah. I've got a pass to fish a bit longer today, and look at this, sunroof, the sun's out, it's warm, it's t-shirt weather, and yeah, I'm going to get down there and look for those fish to see if they've popped up on top again. I'm guessing they will have, and see if I can catch one before the evening and doing the night. Okay, well it's super busy even though it's Sunday and it's only lunchtime. As people are going, other people are setting up, so yeah, I might not have such a choice of swim later on, but I am still going to look around here for the fish that were out here yesterday. Yeah, I can see one already over the back there. Yeah, so yeah, let's have a look. I'm looking the day ropes as well. There's one over there, I think, a small one sitting in the water quite high. I saw a sort of fish yesterday just the other side of that snag there. Right, what have we got in here? Oh yeah, there's loads on top. Just put the polarised lens on the GoPro. There they are. And that's why we ventured this side of the rope. And one there, and one there. I might stick as you get there. Yeah. Okay, it's 12:30. I'm about a couple of foot off the rope. A little pink trimmed down pop-up, which is about a foot under the surface. It is a foot under the surface, I measured it. So, yeah, the fish is drifting this side of the rope, so let's see what the next few hours brings. been about an hour, and I think the fish have drifted out now. Further back that way, yeah, they're on the move. So I think I'm going to move and look at one of the other day swims. See if I can find some fish elsewhere. Just looking to see if there's any fish in the snags along this day swim margin bank. There's a nice breeze pushing in here from the east. It's nice because the sun's out. It'd be a little bit chilly if it wasn't. I'm not seeing anything along here though. There are a few fish where I fished yesterday, but they're only small. There's half a dozen of them. Whereas the fish in the ropes, better. It's a bit windy. Just going to see if I can walk up and down here, see if I can see anything moving. Drop in, you know, one of these day swims for an hour or so. If not, then I might come back and fish the winter sanctuary again. Mainly because that fish came in right close, which I wasn't sure was a fish at the time. But looking back at the footage, yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, and fish there tonight, same spots. Could do that. Not seeing anything so far. Oh well. Right, this swim it is. It's nice to be able to set up with no rush. I'm even going to stick a marker float out to get exactly the spot. I may still just put a bag on it. And again, I may spud. Right, it's come up to 5 o'clock now. I had a nice leisurely setup. It was confirmed officially that nothing came out at the weekend at all. It was rammed. So it doesn't bode well for tonight, but they've got to switch on at some point. You know, it did look a bit lively in the day ropes that I was fishing. They're moving about, and one moved in here and out again on Saturday morning, was it? No, it was Friday evening, wasn't it, as I was setting up. That's right back in the video. I thought it just bow waved in. I spooked it, just sorting my bed chair out. So yeah, they're moving about, so they're going to need food at some point. Let's hope it's tonight. The left-hand rod I put out at 21 reps, so different spot to last time actually, a little bit further out. And on a different gravel spot, a bigger gravel patch, easier to hit, so if I have to recast in the dark, who am I kidding? I should be able to hit it fine. And it's baggable distance as well, so I can stick a bag on, put it out there if I have to in the night. If I have a bream or a tench, preferably a carp, but yeah, I've kind of forgotten what they look like. Right hand rod, same spot as before, 5 freebies, and a couple of balls of really crumb. There's a little bit of hemp and pellet in there, and sweet. So put 3 or 4 spots over the top of the hook bait as well that I cast out. On the left hand rod, it's mainly crumb. Just 3 or 4 freebies in each spot. and 2 of them were crushed. So yeah, not a lot of bait really, proper bait. So yeah, the silvers have got quite a lot of crumb to be working on, and hopefully that'll draw the carp in later on. It's going to stay quite mild tonight. A bit of a, well, easterly to southeasterly, it's changing direction. The pressure's staying low. It's clouded over a bit now, it was sunny all day. So yeah, you never know. Right, I shall catch up with you later. I don't know what time it is. It's called a bush. Some of it now, I think. Trying to get into some eggs in there. I feel it grated on something. Seeing it for the first time. Let's go that way. Oh, yeah. It's very deep out there, it's about 9-10 foot just off the hit, off the bank here. These don't come off. Nearly. Thought he was going to come in then. Come on, mate. Throwing me out now. Must be the other way round. 3. Yes! Oh. Yeah, gotcha. At last, after over 3 months. Oh. Okay, well the take was at 4:30. It was a bit hairy because it wanted to get in that snag to the left, but thankfully it came out, and I've got myself a fish. Wow. So, after 3.5 months, 21 blank nights, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the scattered linear at 38 3/4 pound. Oh, look at that. I don't care that it's a repeat. Fantastic. Beautiful. Right. The other side, old friend, and then we'll get you back. Come on. Come on. Beautiful. Oh, what a beauty. Come on in, old girl. Let's get you back. Wow. Blown away. Even though it's a repeat. I had to get my phone out and check the picture. When I saw it in the net, I thought it's a good fish, first of all. I thought, is that the 3/4 linear? Because it looks similar to the untrained eye, or the mind that's blown. So I've run got my phone, had a look. Oh no, it's the lin again, the scattered lin. Yeah, rarely caught. And now I've had it twice. Yeah, that's the biggest I've had a fish out of here though, I think, 38-12, yeah, out of this lake. Yeah. Wow. I reeled in the right hand rod before I put the fish back, and I've just put them both out at 21 wraps again, just singles obviously, because it's now come up 20 to 6, time I've sorted myself out and got myself together. So yeah, I'm just going to stick the kettle on now, have an early coffee, and then another, then a slow pack away. Be off to work, and probably fall asleep by lunchtime. Yeah. I'd had no bleeps or anything up till then, and there was no sights or sounds, and it's quite still out there, so you know, all around the lake, you know, at this half of the lake, you would be able to hear, but no, nothing. So in my sort of half sleep or sleep, I was thinking, oh, it's another blank. The blank continues, but no. Yeah, wow. Right, I'm going to get the kettle on, have a couple of coffees, and then watch the footage back of it on the mat. Yeah, just to take it all in. Okay, but it's only 7 o'clock. I don't know why I'm waiting for 7:30, because chances of a second take when it's been fishing like it has been are pretty slim. So yeah, I may just pull them in now and not be late for work for once. Right, well, it's just started raining, so that's good timing actually. Yeah. well chuffed to have caught that. I had visions of going up to the end of this month when this place shuts and not catching one. But yeah, thankfully the scattered ling came to my rescue. Yeah, like I say, it's shutting at the end of the month, so we've got another 3 weeks from today. Let's hope that the fish switch on, because I've had it confirmed that that was the only fish out all weekend on a packed lake. So yeah, I'm quite lucky to have caught that. I'll be back down in a couple of nights' time. It's going to get cold the rest of this week, so it's going to dip again. But you know, got to make most of the time that we've got left on here until we have to switch across onto the other lake. So yeah, I'll be back then. In the meantime, and I've not been able to say this for a while, thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience if you've been waiting for this video, the 3 months or whatever it's been since I last put one out. Yeah, and please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you very soon.